So what she's actually saying is the Nazi situation, Nazi Twitter, that's all the fault of the left.
That does not mean that we aren't interested in the modern and progress, right? And what I'm hearing from you talking about this, and what I'm seeing over in relations between the sexes, is...
See, there's the ideology, right? Trans issues. That's the thing for these guys. Trans issues, vaccines. That's the ideology that stops intelligent debate, that stops intelligent... There's some kind of synapses in their brain, evolutionary biologists, where there's a trans issue or a vaccine issue, and it manages to leap the IQ and go from one side straight to the other. And that's one of the things for these guys.
Okay, full stop. We're done. All of that was a mistake. Let's go back to trad everything. Racist, misogynist, everything. Homophobic, all of it, right? And it can be easy, if you're not paying any attention at all, to think that those of us who are critiquing the...
I'm just asking questions.
The overreach,
critiquing. I'm just asking questions.
Bludgeoning of people with actually new racist things and newly sexist ideas are part of the problem. But
yeah, I'm not part of the problem. I'm just asking questions. Now she's going to go into a little bit as well about how, the resulting madness from the left is that people want to go back in time. We're going to talk about that as well.
It is a new, this call to tradition, this call to what has already been is so often what you're seeing and what you're calling Nazi Twitter and what I'm seeing, and I don't have a name.
Call to tradition is what you're seeing on Nazi Twitter. In other words, going back to make America great again. A call to tradition is what Nazis are talking about on Nazi Twitter.
Actual classical Nazis loved the call to tradition. That was what all their propaganda is.
So
and
remember,
you can find these accounts on social media. The return to, they'll often be posting classical art and sculpture, and it's all very European centric. You look at those accounts, and they are a hair away from just posting Nazi propaganda. And
remember, be really clear if you're watching this and you disagree. These are not my fucking words. These are Brett Weinstein and his wife, the co-founders of the international dark web, bedmates with people like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris and those kinds of people. She just said the callback is what we're seeing on Nazi Twitter. And remember, Brett Weinstein's already described Nazi Twitter as literal Nazis. These are their words. This is not us interpreting.
Name for it yet, but certainly what is being revealed in a lot of the trans ideology is this
Snapsies,
part of the problem, you know what I see? Oh, the problem is that women got the vote. Really? That's where we are? We're allowed to say that now? Oh, okay. So guess what, pseudo-lefties? This is your making. Like this is something that you have helped create. You have helped bring out into the public with strength, because you are saying things that are so insane that people are looking around going like, what can I do? Maybe the only thing I can do is to seek to reverse the clock by 150 years and see if we can't start over from there.
So I know you're keen as mustard to jump in, but remember what she just said. Nazi Twitter, Nazis are trying to jump the clock back 150 years. And it's the fault of the left.
Just the 1935, I think, is the sweet spot.
And I just wanted to show you a couple of images, right? Remember that the priests of the IDW are talking about Nazis on Nazi Twitter have a yearning to take things back into the past. They want to go backwards, kind of like this, to get New Zealand back on track. So that would resonate with Nazi Twitter, right? Because it's a backwards looking thing, kind of like this. Let's take our country back again. That would resonate on Nazi Twitter. Because Nazi Twitter is about looking back, and it's all the left's fault. Kind of like this. Trump's campaign for 2024, take America back. That will resonate on Nazi Twitter. And remember, when I say Nazi Twitter, the Nazi Twitter we're talking about is the Nazi Twitter that Brett Weinstein, I'm going to keep saying it, has described as the places that swastikas are not viewed as negatives, literal Nazis. So what's happening, and we've talked about Luxon's dilemma, is these people are needing to send dog whistles to that group. And let's be honest, not all Nazis, but Nazi adjacent, white supremacist adjacent, racist adjacent, racially charged, Illinois Nazis, whatever. And having to get them. And if what these evolutionary biologists are telling us that they're seeing is it's about looking back, it's exactly what the right's doing at the moment. So they're actively speaking to Nazi Twitter. They're actively speaking to white supremacists, and they're actively speaking to that group because they need their fucking vote. I've got one more clip, Chewy, but you go, sir.
I just want to expand on a couple of points, right?
Go.
These guys might be very smart. They might be evolutionary biologists or whatever, but what they're talking about is sociology, which is a completely different area. And if she wants to talk about the left, this is the left's problem. The left wants Star Trek. That's what we want.
Yeah, true.
You know, that's the aim, and
or at least the Jetsons. At the very least, the Jetsons.
Right wing want 1935. So that's the dichotomy. There's probably 150 years between them. We're not talking about winding the clock back 150 years. And the other thing that I want to say is, whenever someone says Nazi, right, I'm always kind of careful about using it because it does get overused.
Of course, I agree.
But you know, if you're pitching at that crowd, it's not that all of your supporters are Nazis. But if the Nazis are agreeing with what you're saying, you have a problem. That's all we're talking about here. Yeah. And I've always had a problem with slogans like, let's go back. We've gone too far. Let's wind the clock back. Because there's a lot of people that if you wind the clock back even a little bit, then they're back in the closet, or they have legal ramifications for the way that they live their life, and that sort of thing. You know, when Trump was saying, you know, make America great again, the big question that a lot of people were asking is, when was that?
Yeah.
Was it the 1980s? Was it the 1950s? Was it the 1930s? Tell us when, because there was a lot of things that are different there. Quite specifically, how do we treat black people? You know, and that was what the concerns that people had. And I think in the fullness of hindsight, those people were right. That like it has opened up an ugliness in the entire world that we can't stuff it back in the toothpaste tube.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's the problem when you point at a whole group of people and go Nazis. We're not accusing you all of being Nazis, but we're saying that the Nazis that are there are agreeing with you. That's a problem. Fix it.